Okay, welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what's today? I think today's Monday, April, I think it's the 23rd. Yeah, Monday, April the 23rd. We are out here. This is our 8th podcast, I believe. I might be wrong on that, though. But we're going to get right into it. I hope everybody's having a great start to their week. And if you had a great weekend, that's awesome as well. And yeah, let's get started. This is a great way to start everybody's week. I hope you have time to sit down and really enjoy this podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and family. The more I grow, the more we all grow as a family, the better content we'll get. I promise you that. But yeah, let's get right into it. I don't have much to talk about today. I tried making a little list earlier today, but I've been pretty busy today. I had to wake up and, as most of you know, I'm in college. I'm a sophomore in college, so had to get up and go to class and study for one of my exams that I'm having. We get out on May 7th. I hope everybody who is in college right now gets out roughly soon, similar to me. Otherwise, I feel bad for you. But I know some colleges are getting out this week and others are getting out next week. I think I get out next week. I don't know. When's the 7th? Maybe it's in 2 weeks. Let me check. Yeah, it's in 2 weeks. It's not next Monday, but it's the Monday after. And yeah, at least I think I get out on the 7th. I could be completely wrong. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. Let's just get right into it. We're just going to chat a little bit. If you watch my last podcast, you'll know that I've been in some issues with my boss, my current boss. Well, my boss and my manager. And I think I left the last podcast telling you guys that I was going to have a meeting with him. If you haven't already heard this story, I'll kind of lay it out for you. So I got hired to do social media marketing for this company that I'm working for, and so I come in, I kind of do the way, usually when you hire somebody, you don't. They hired me because the way that they're doing stuff is not good, so they hired me to do it better. Okay, so the first few, like a month or whatever of working, I follow the directions that the owner wants, but I'm clearly not seeing progress in terms of, gaining likes or followers or really engaging with customers or even seeing any type of results. Granted, this is not my first job. I've worked for Brandon Marshall, the NFL player. I've worked for a golf course. I was the head marketer of a golf course 2 years ago. I've worked for a few companies in Miami. This isn't my first rodeo, so I know, generally speaking, I know how most of this works. Anyway, I didn't see much results in the first month of doing it the way that the owner told me he wanted it done. So, I pretty much said, you know what, screw it. Let's try it. Let's make a post that I just create out of my full, just I create. So my girlfriend's a model, and so I had her come in and I had her model some of these high-end jerseys that we sell. They're like $300 jerseys. So I had her model those. I took really good pictures of her. We edited them, and then we post them, and then we wait. Turns out that this post got the most likes we've ever had on any post that I could ever find. Got the most likes, okay? So I'm like, awesome. We're getting likes. A lot of people commented on it. Obviously a lot of people liked it. Like, that's good. Those are good numbers. So then anyway, I get a call I get a text actually like the next day saying from my manager, call me ASAP. So I call him, and he pretty much says that the owner doesn't like it, that the owner thinks it's inappropriate, that this isn't the type of way we want to market. Granted, they hired me to do a job that they don't know how to do, but then they call me and are trying to tell me how to do my job. Like, do you see how unprofessional this is? So at this point, that's like kind of like I said, I was quiet for the first month. I was doing it the way he wanted it to be done. but eventually you're going to cross this line where, because for me, I look at it not only for doing well for this company, but doing well for myself. And what really ticks me off is, yes, I'll do whatever they want me to say, I guess. Well, actually, hold on, I'll get back to that. I did what they wanted me to do for the first month. It didn't work. So for me, I got to thinking, for me, if I go to another job and say, look, I've done social media marketing for companies, and then they're like, okay, well, show me the last company you marketed for. And I show them the shit work that I'm told to post. Like, these posts that we're posting now are complete shit. And like, when I post them, I'm just posting them to make the owner happy. I'm not posting them to actually do anything, which is why it's so stupid. So I'm going to have to show them this shit work and say, well, my boss told me that he wanted me to post the way they're going to say, well, why didn't you, this is not good work. We don't want to hire you. That's not good work. You didn't prove yourself. And so from that standpoint, knowing that this is not going to benefit my future to continue marketing the way they're doing, it just all kind of built up. And I believe I ended the last podcast by telling you guys that I was going to meet. I think my last podcast was on Friday, and I met with my manager, I think, on Saturday. Or maybe my last podcast was with Vanessa. Hold on, I might be messed up here. We might be all sorts of messed up. I don't think I ever gave you an update of what happened, though. Because I ended up meeting with him, and I don't think I ended up telling you guys what happened. Maybe I did. I don't think I did, though. Let's see. Pretty sure my last podcast was with Vanessa. Okay. So not last podcast, but the one before that is when I talked about it. So yeah, I'll talk about that for just a second. I know people listening are like, Jesus, stop talking about your boss. This is the end of the story pretty much. I'll tell you kind of what happened, and then we'll move on to the next thing. But pretty much what happened was I went in, and I really can't remember if I talked about this in my other podcasts or my last podcast. I didn't talk about it with Vanessa, but anyway, so I went in and I started talking to him, and at first it was, calm and collected, but then he told me that the posts that I posted were bullshit. That's exactly what he said. He said, those posts about your girlfriend were bullshit. And I'm like, whoa, how are you going to say that first? First of all, that's offensive. Second of all, how are you going to say that when I tell him all this stuff? What I'm telling you guys that I'm talking about is exactly what I told him. I said, how are you going to tell me that they're bullshit when they've gotten the most likes we've ever posted? Okay, you hired me to come and do a job and to make you money off of social media. You're not qualified, because I know both of their backgrounds. Neither of them are qualified to tell me how to do my job. Okay, that's not. And I explained it to him like this. I said, think about it as a football team. Okay, we'll use the Patriots as an example. Bill Belichick doesn't tell the defensive lineman, okay, you need to do a swim move or a 360. That's the only way you can do it to get to the quarterback. No, he says, look, defensive lineman, I need you to sack the quarterback when he's throwing it. I don't care how you get there. Just get there. I don't care how you get there. And they all stay in their own lanes. They all do their own job, but they meet the end goal. That's it. That's how you should run a business. The Patriots have a great system. That's a great model to use. Okay? But this owner wants to micromanage me and tell me that this is the right way to market when he's never even marketed on social media, and he's already proven. Here's the biggest thing: he's already proven that it doesn't work. The way he does things just doesn't work. He's already proven that. He's posted like 500 times on Instagram, and if he hasn't made money now, he sure the hell ain't gonna make money later. You know what I'm saying? So something needs to change. I said we're taking a nail and we're hammering into concrete by posting the way he's posting. We're not going to get through. We're not going to make money. We need to find a piece of wood, and we need to hammer the nail through, and we need something that's going to catch, something that's really going to, start marketing the company. He didn't want to listen. He pretty much gave me an ultimatum, said, you can work and listen to the owner, or you don't have to work. And so I've been thinking lately, and shortly I'm going to put my 2 weeks notice in as soon as I make enough money to start this business that I'm starting with my brother. and also to make sure that my budget for New York City, for my new followers, I'm moving to New York City this in a few months, and I have a budget that I'm supposed to meet with my girlfriend, and I'm not going to quit until both that budget and I have enough funds to start a company. Anyway, that's what happened. Big, huge argument. I just really haven't talked to either of them for the last few days. I'm just posting what the owner wants. I'm not posting good posts because the owner clearly doesn't. He wants quantity and not quality. And what quantity is going to get you is going to get you a bunch of shitty followers. What quality is going to get you is a bunch of loyal followers. That's it. You know, you don't see Nike posting shitty pictures every day saying dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't see Yeti coolers posting dumb, non-quality pictures, okay? It's just not how it gets done. If you post good content, the content will do half the marketing for you. Jesus, like that's what they don't understand. And so they got really butthurt about that whole picture, and it's just been a shit show. But anyway, I'm done talking about that today, at least for a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much just what happened at my work. I know some of you out there are like saying, you know what, I have a boss that's so similar to this. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. But yeah. So I hope everybody's having a great Monday. Mondays are rough for some people. Other days they're like the start of the week. They're like your motivation for the week. It's like, let's get through Monday and let's get through it. Let's go. But other people are like, shit, Monday. And it's just too long. It's the longest day away from the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. I have a mixed feeling about Monday. Some days, for me, my schedule is all wrapped up. I work more on Saturday and Sunday than I do Monday. Like, Monday is my day off, practically. I just have to go to class and I don't have to work. But Saturday and Sunday, I work, like, all day. That's one thing, too, that this work's doing that's not professional, is they don't give me a list. You guys aren't going to believe this. They don't give me a list of anything to do. So, I come in, I post one time a day on all of our platforms. And that's it. They don't give me a list of stuff to do. They don't tell me, for me personally, if I was a owner, I would say, look, post once a day. Make sure it's a really good quality picture. I don't care if it takes 2 hours to edit it, 3 hours to edit it. Do that. And then you need to finish this list. Okay. And then I'll give them a list of stuff to do that's like, good for the store, whether that's cleaning, dusting, vacuuming, I take out the trash anyway every day, but dusting and wiping down the doors and the windows and really cleaning and putting everything together, and just a bunch of stuff on that list, and then also the thing. But no, I just get told, post one time on social media, you can sit down and pretty much watch YouTube videos. And yeah, I am complaining about being able to just sit down and watch YouTube videos. I don't want to sit down and watch YouTube videos. I want to do something that's productive. Right now, I'm using that time. I'm not watching YouTube video. Well, I do watch YouTube videos, but I'm also using a lot of that time to focus on my own company, or whatever that I'm starting with my brother. And just been working on that. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder. One thing. I wonder where all you guys are listening from. I'm down here in South Florida. Most of my family is up north in Vermont. There's probably some people in here from California. But I don't know, man. These Mondays are a real kick in the ass sometimes, but like I said, I don't mind them, but a lot of people do. They don't like them. This is my 8th podcast, okay. But I have a list of a few things to do today, or talk about today. The first one on my list is I want to talk about the northeastern part of the country in the woods compared to everywhere else. And it's really crazy when you think about it. Because I've taken a road trip from Vermont to Florida, so I've seen all of the woods that go all the way down. I was talking to my brother, about this the other day, and it's crazy, man. It's like we noticed, or when I went up there, I've noticed Florida, like on the sides of the interstates. What I'm trying to tell you, like when I'm driving up on the sides of the interstate, it looks so different. You get like Florida's like this swampy, nasty, like gross kind of habitat with an occasional few fields mixed in or open swamps. And then you get in Georgia, and then it turns into like the swampy hardwoods almost a little bit, where it's getting a little bit better. And then South Carolina, it's a little nicer, just a little bit. And then once you get to the northern part of South Carolina and North Carolina is kind of when you start getting into those hardwoods, and you can see pine trees and oak trees and all the good nice northern woods. And then you keep going all the way, through New York or whatever, wherever you go through, and then to Vermont. And then in Vermont you have so many different types of woods. It's kind of awesome. Same with Maine. Maine is such an awesome state. I almost wish I lived in Maine, to be honest. Because with Maine, most of the woods up there is like this really thick cedar and I think there's spruce trees and like these really thick pine trees, and they're like they're perfect for moose and bear and really big bucks. But they're I love those types of woods. Like when I'm hunting, I'd rather go into like that swampy thick pine versus going into like these open hardwood knobs. Granted, I love them both. I've hunted both. I've shot a bunch of deer in both. But I there's something about those swamps that really correlates with shooting big bucks. And that's one thing though that Vermont does have. They do have those kind of a good combination between those ones. Maine, it's more or less more of that thick pine woods. They also have a good combination, but the thick pine woods and stuff, I mean, those are just beautiful woods with a lot of clear cuts and stuff. And I was talking to my teacher, brought up in class the other day, like when you have those like moments where you just sit in and take in. She was asked if any of us have had a moment where we just kind of sit down and take in our surrounding, like, and find the beauty in wherever we're at. Like she said, you can be in New York City and you can just stand there and just kind of look. And you can find a few things that are beautiful and you can really just take that in. And everybody down here really doesn't know what Vermont's like. So I raised my hand and I said, yeah, I have those moments a lot, actually. It's the one thing this is another reason why I encourage people to hunt. Because you get these moments while you're hunting that you won't get anywhere else. And it's those moments where you go into these big, wide open areas. And in Vermont, there's less and less of these big, these big patches of woods, but you can still find some. You get into these big old patches of woods. You drive down this dirt road and you park on the side of the road in the little designated parking spot, or even on just the side of the road. You pull off. Nobody's around. There's no houses in sight, and then you just climb up the mountain, or you walk into the swamp, and you just get in there. And there's a lot of moments as a hunter and an outdoorsman where you can just get in there, and you just kind of stand there, and really like you just kind of take it in, and you look, and like it's not just like one or two things that's beautiful. It's the whole woods in general has this like. This like, what is it? Smegma, something like that. Like a feeling, like a spiritual feeling, where it's just like so relaxing. It's just it's so hard to explain to somebody that's never been ever been able to do that. Like, I remember this one time I was with my buddy. Up in Vermont, and we went to the this place to go fishing up in Stowe, Vermont. And I remember we went into we pulled off on the side of this road. I think it's called the Notch Road. And we went into the woods to find this creek where we're fishing for trout. And I can remember the whole entire day. I could tell you exactly what we did the whole entire day. But the thing that sticks out the most is just remembering the view that you get. Like some people say that, like you climb a mountain, you get a great view climbing the mountain, or you overlook a lake and you have a great view of the lake. But when you're in the woods, you have a great view of the woods in general. Just looking in the woods, there's so many things to look at. There's so many creatures. The economy, or the ecosystem of the woods, is just incredibly awesome. And so I was like kind of telling him like I go hunting, so I know I've been in these in these big woods, these big northern woods where there's not anybody around. And you just kind of sit there, you kind of stand there, and you're just looking, and it's like one of those things where you just can't compare it to anything else. Sure, you can do yoga in a dark room with no sound, but it's not. You can't compare it to the emptiness, it's not even emptiness. It's like it's actually the opposite of emptiness. It's the fulfillment you get by just being in the woods with one. You're like one with the nature. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But, Vermont woods, northern woods in general, you can find them in Michigan. You can find them obviously in Maine. Maine's a great state if you want big, wide open wilderness with no houses and stuff. Maine is the place to go. But they're a great place. I'm sure New Hampshire. The Adirondacks are another great place. I've never been there, but I've heard people talk about it. I think it's 6 million acres, if I'm not mistaken, of state land where you can hunt, or you can camp, you can go fishing, you can do anything you want as long as obviously any recreational thing you can pretty much do on there. And that's another great place to go to just kind of take it in. Like if you're like a city slicker, or you lived in maybe in an urban town or city throughout your whole entire life, like if you grew up in Boca Raton or anywhere in Florida, actually anywhere in South Florida, I would encourage you to take one weekend, even fly up on a Friday and leave on a Sunday night, and the whole day Saturday just go for a hike on a northern mountain. In Vermont, we have a few mountains. We have Mount Mansfield, we have Camel's Hump. Just go on a big mountain, stay on trail if you're not, okay with being in the big woods by yourself. But even sometimes on the hiking trails, they're not rural enough, I'd say. Or they're not out enough. But if you're comfortable just going into the woods, I would say go to these big state parks. Because in Vermont, we have a few of them. We have the Northeast Kingdom, which is 21,000 acres. We have the Groton State Park, which is 21,000 acres, I believe. We have Jay Peak, which is a mountain, which is 9,000 acres. We have Mount Mansfield, which is also, I think, 20 or 30,000 acres. So we got a few big places where you can just go into the woods and just sit down on a log and bring a lunch with you or something and just relax and hang out. I mean, I can't explain it enough how awesome it is. And you can find, I'm sure there's places in Pennsylvania and stuff, but one thing that you don't get in those states, like say Illinois or Iowa or Ohio, is granted you get to go hunting and you get to sit in the woods, but a lot of these places that you go hunting over there, you pretty much, you can hear cars drive by. You can sit there and you're going to hear your neighbor screaming over there. You're going to hear you know what I'm saying? You can hear things. You can hear the outdoor or the outside world or the human. You can hear the human population. Whether it's cars, whether it's planes, whether it's your neighbor screaming at his dog that just took a shit on the other neighbor's lawn or something, you're gonna hear something. And that's one thing you I'm sure you can get it in a few of those states, but that's one thing that a lot of those states don't have that Vermont does have. Or not just Vermont, but these other states, northern New York, Maine, I'm sure some parts of New Hampshire, Michigan. You can go more out west and they have, thousands of acres, but it's not the northern woods over there. It's more, they're two different types of woods. I'm sure both of them are beautiful. I've never been over there. I really would love to. I really would want to get on some mule deer or some elk or something. That would be really cool. But from my experience, the northern woods are the most beautiful woods you're going to find. The northeastern woods, are the most beautiful you're going to find. And they smell earthy, and it's really beautiful when you can get snow. Like, snow is one of those things that makes something other places also really beautiful. If you can get like in like a nice pine area where like some of the pines catch the snow and you can see kind of bare ground, you can see the greens and the whites and the dark bark of the trees. Those are also really beautiful woods to just kind of hang out in. But yeah, I don't know. There's some beautiful, beautiful places around this country. But I just know. I just thought about that, the other day when my teacher asked. And that's one thing I do miss, man, and I'm gonna miss that in New York City. But I'm not going to New York City to pay cheap rent. I'm not going to New York City to get a good view of the mountains. I'm going there to chase my dreams and yeah, that's my main goal. But one of the things that I'm gonna do. So, if you don't know me, please don't take this the wrong way. But I'm gonna tell you what my and I hope somebody can relate to this. But I want to tell you kind of what my life goal is, and some people are gonna think I'm fucking crazy. But my life goal throughout my family, I know there's somebody out there that's gonna be like, you know what, I feel the same way. But throughout my family, nobody's ever made over, I think, $200,000. So my brother and I made a commitment to ourselves a long time ago. Not a long time ago, 3-4 years ago or whatever, telling ourselves that we're going to be the most successful financially in our family that has ever been in our family that we know of, that anybody knows of. So that for us, that means making around 7 figures a year. My goal is to have a salary or, my goal is $1 million or more in one whole calendar year for my income. That's not like, and sure, most of that's going to get spent with housing and all that shit, but just my net income for the year is $1 million or more. That's my goal, and that's what I want. And I heard this thing the other day. To be in the top 1%, you're gonna find this crazy, and a lot of people. I've told this to a lot of people, and CNN said this, so it's a decently credible source. Fake news, but you have to make $400,000 or more to be in the top 1%. That's really not that much. $400,000 is really not that much. But anyway, yeah, that's my life goal. I want to start a business. I want to be a successful business owner that makes a net income of $1 million or more. And people out there are probably laughing and saying that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But trust me, I'm not the type of person that you want to, make a competition, because it doesn't go well. I'm one of those people who I will, if you challenge me to something, if you challenge what I say, I'm going to make you prove me wrong. Because when you prove me wrong, it helps me because it teaches me. And it allows me to learn and humble myself. So if somebody tells me that I'm not good at something, what I often do is say, okay, then let's make a challenge. You versus me. We'll see which one does it better. That's what I do with my brother. We're obsessed with doing this. If you want to tell me that I'm bad at something, then let's, have a 1 versus 1 type of deal and see who's better. And if he beats me, then I usually humble myself and I say, all right, fuck, I'm not going to challenge you until I'm better. I'm going to become better than you. Then I'm going to challenge you. But I was telling my girlfriend the other day, some of the shit that drives me and like keeps me motivated to like continue to work and try to, build this goal of making $1 million or more in 1 year. But I was telling her, I remember a few years ago, I'm going to tell you the story. A few years ago, I went hunting with my, so hold on, I got to back this up. So there's this one family in our town who hunts on this land. They don't own the land, but this guy in New York City owns it, and they kind of manage it, and they kind of do like they clean it and they post it, and they kind of keep it clean and safe, I guess. But there's a lot of deer on that land, and I think it's like 300 or 400 acres. And there's a lot of deer on that land, and I knew that there's a lot of deer. on that land. Because I was friends with I'm friends with one of the kids that his dad manages the land, but I'm friends with him. And so anyway, I knew that there's deer here in this one particular place. So obviously, like any other hunter, if they know that there's deer there, they're gonna try to either get on that land or they're gonna try to get on a bordering land. So that's what I did. I found a few places around that border that 400 acres, and I got permission on like 3 or 4 houses, and so I hunted there, and we killed some good mature bucks off that land, and we killed a couple good mature does off that land. Well, eventually they found out that we were hunting around there, and this guy, I guess, is completely incredibly protective. Not even protective. You can't even fucking use that word. He's incredibly insecure about his hunting ability, clearly, and also he's very selfish when it comes to the deer that live partly on his land and partly on the other land. So when he found out the one guy that manages this land, keep this in mind, he doesn't even own the land, okay? When he found out that we shot a few bucks over there, or whatever, because word of mouth gets around, and especially in a small town, so he took it upon himself to try and convince the people we've gotten permission to hunt on to not let us hunt, because I don't know why, because we're killing too many deer, or he gave him some bullshit excuse where he said, well, let me manage your land and I'll keep everybody off it, so nobody, something bullshit. So he kicked us off pretty much every piece of land we had permission on. He posted it, and he told us, you guys aren't hunting here anymore. It's pretty much what he said. And, I thought that was incredibly disrespectful. First of all, like, he doesn't even own the land. And I thought that it was, granted, I would probably post the land if I owned it. So I get where he's coming from. But knowing, like, we're family friends kind of with these people. Like, we're not best friends, not by any chance. But we're friends. We know each other. We've played sports with each other. Like, he was my basketball coach and whatever. And so he pretty much manipulated a few people that we have permission to hunt on, and he posted the land and pretty much got us kicked off the whole street. And so I'm pissed. And this goes back to nobody in my family makes money, like a lot of money. So it's not like anybody can go ahead and buy 100 acres or something and post it. Nobody makes that much money in my family. So when she asked me, or when I was talking to her about what drives me, it's the people like this guy who got me kicked off the land a few years ago with my brother that drive me. I said, and I texted this guy, and I have the text on my phone. I said, he found out that I was in Florida, and I guess I left a tree stand on one of the lands that he got us kicked off of, pretty much. And he wanted to know what I was going to do with it, and he said he'll buy it off me, and I'm already in Florida, so I said sure. And then he said I get there. He said that you're chasing beach bunnies instead of deer this upcoming fall. I said yeah, for part of it. I said but when I make it one day, I'm buying that land. I'm buying the whole fucking street, or I'm at least buying the land that he's hunting on. And that's one of the small things. There's many of them that drive me. But when I'm sitting down, I'm like, you know what? Should I go work or should I take this nap? I think about these fuckers who consistently are consistent assholes to me because they have this slight advantage. They know the fucking landowner. They don't even own the land, but they know the landowner. And it really sucks too, because I talked to the landowner, and because I went through a lot of trouble to try to hunt on this land, because not only is there deer on it, but my family has hunted on that land before I was even born. Like, this land isn't just fucking a random piece of land. My family hunted on this land when I was before I was born and when I was a little kid. Like, they deer hunted on this land. So it means a little bit to me in that aspect as well. And so I found, the owner's number. I found out where he lives and all this, that, and the third. That's why I know he lives in New York City. And I contacted him, and he said that I can hunt. And so I was like, yes, I can hunt on this land. That's awesome. Well, I guess this guy, the manager, got heard about it and said, no, you ain't hunting on this land. This guy changed his mind. You're not hunting on this land. And he convinced the landowner to not give me permission anymore. And that was the thing that irritates me. And my dad's like, if I ever win the Powerball, I'm going to buy this land. I'm like, Dad, you're never going to win the fucking Powerball. How about you just sit back, you let me go do the fucking work, and this guy will eat his fucking words one day. So there's like small things like that, small experiences through my life that irritate the fuck out of me. And I'm pissed off right now just thinking about it, because it's just like the way that you gotta sneakily go behind everybody, like behind our back, to ask these people for permission. And like, he didn't even know where we were hunting, and he didn't know where we were hunting. So he's so crazy that he drove up and down the street to see which driveway we pulled up, because there's a bunch of houses, and if you drive up and down the driveway, you can kind of see which houses. If you drive up and down the driveways, you can see where you have to park. Like, yeah. So he would drive during hunting season, would drive up and down the road, and we would pass him sometimes. It's because he drove up so often. It's impossible not to pass him. But he drove up so often that, we would see him sometimes, and you would know. There's no other reason why he would go down that road than to look to where we're hunting, to see where we're hunting. And that's how he figured out who to talk to about who to talk to get the land posted pretty much and get us kicked off. But I've done research, and I know that land that they're hunting on, I thought I saw that it costs around $500,000, maybe a little bit more. And so that's where I need to make $1 million, because if I make $1 million, that's not out of that's in my price range. Even if I made $500,000, that's still in my price range, because you can pay that off in 5 years maybe, or 10 years, 20 years. And so I think about that like every day, because I had a lot of good memories killing deer with my family on that land. Just the 2 years, 3 years that we had permission, I had some awesome memories. I killed some nice bucks. 2 of my biggest bucks I've ever killed have been on that land. And it was just awesome land to go on. And for somebody to just sneak in there behind our backs and pretty much, fucking do that shit behind our backs just is a reason that motivates me like no other. And I just find these little things where I tell people, and they laugh. They'll laugh at you. Don't fucking worry. They'll laugh and say, you weren't gonna make it, you dumbass. You're stupid. Or haha, yeah, okay, we'll see about that. Or are you crazy? You're never gonna do. Are you crazy? And it's those same people that don't make money, and they're insecure about themselves, and you know what I'm saying? So it's those same people that you just gotta ignore, and don't be friends with those people. That's one thing I've always learned. I don't have very many friends to begin with, but the friends that I do have usually encourage me to do better. But yeah, and so we were talking about what kind of motivates me, and I just remembered that story. I remembered that story or not the story, but what happened. I remember exactly what happened. It was only three or 4 years ago. But it's stuff like that fucking irritates the shit out of me. Sorry if I'm cursing so much, but it's the same exact stuff where somebody that just, they don't even own the land, can just, manipulate somebody into thinking that he's trying to do good, even though, and he could say, oh yeah, I'm just trying to kill mature deer, and trying to say that we're trying to keep the deer herd healthy. You can go right on his Facebook page. The last 2 years, he's killed immature deer. He's, I think, a 3 or 4 pointer, and then 2 70-pound does. Those aren't mature deer at all. He's just greedy and wants it all to himself. So, granted, I might take some time off from hunting and scouting to work, but when I am able to get that enough income, I mean, we'll just see who's laughing in the end. And that's what that type of stuff just extremely irritates me. But that's one of them that I think about that almost every day. Whenever like I'm motivated, like I almost didn't do this podcast today because I was tired and I kind of want to take a nap, but I said, you know what, fuck that. We're doing a podcast. I made this damn commitment. We're gonna do it, and I'm gonna keep giving content to you guys to listen to. We're almost at 10, and at 10 we're gonna upload this to iTunes. In a couple days, actually, I'm gonna try to submit it to iTunes. I gotta look to see how I do that. I think there's a website that does it for you for like $10 a month. But yeah. It's things like that. I hope you guys can find things that motivate you daily, because not only can you prove people wrong, and the feeling of proving somebody wrong is unlike anything else. And being able to, not even proving people wrong, but just making a point or sticking or finding a goal and just achieving the goal. Those are the type of things that you really need to I feel like those are the type of things that you need to have in your life. You need to have goals to be set. You need to have people to prove wrong, because those are like things that motivate you. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's, telling somebody like, hey, I only make, $15,000 a year doing part-time, but next year I want to make $30,000 or something, and then or I only make $15,000 a year, but I'm going to start my business in 3 years, and I'm going to put away half of my income or a quarter of my income to this company, or whether it's investing money, or whether it could be anything, whether it's simply just working out. If you're 300 pounds and you say, I'm going to be 200 pounds, in 12 months. And somebody laughs and say, you're fucking lazy. You're not going to do that shit. Those are the type of things that you need. Everybody needs people to tell them that they can't, because that's the only thing that's going to drive them or keep them thinking that they can. And you could take whatever advice you want from me. I'm just a 20-year-old kid, but that's just a few things I try to live by. I try to make sure that I'm always finding little things to motivate me, whether that's my ninth grade teacher who told me I wasn't going to be anything, or whether that's this fucker who got me kicked off this hunting land just because he wanted to be selfish. It can be anything, all right? And just find these little things. Keep yourself motivated. Keep pushing. You guys will make it one day, and I'll see you at the top, because I'm going to be right with you. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to be like, you know what? These are the type of people I want to be around, and you'll see me at the top, and you guys will make it too. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I'm going to end it here. We're pretty much at our time limit for the day. But I hope you guys are having I hope you guys will have a wonderful week. I'll keep in touch probably tomorrow. I'll try to keep posting every day of the week. Keep this stuff rolling. I love you guys. Please subscribe. Please comment below what you want to hear. If you have a cool story you want to be on the podcast, email me at joe.beaupre98@gmail.com. That's Joe Beaupre. Joe.Beaupre, period, at 98. Jesus Christ, I can't even speak. It is joe.beaupre98@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.